As a result, neither Trump's nor Biden's internal polls can be released to the public. The public opinion poll is different. The main function of this kind of poll is to fight for success. In the United States, where left-wing media dominate the mainstream, it is difficult to imagine how many media invites a poll report predicting Biden's defeat. We have also noticed that in 2016, none of those pollsters who were grossly wrong were fired by their employers. If you look closely at the polls, you will be surprised by the fact that these institutions operate. First, the voters surveyed by many pollsters are not voters at all, but adults in the United States. In the United States, only a large number of foreigners have the right to vote in the United States, which is illegal. If you want to accurately grasp the progress of the election, of course, you have to investigate voters, unless the purpose of these polls is only to create momentum for certain political groups. Second, even American voters are subdivided into registered voters and potential voters. Registered voters refer to those registered in the local government to vote, while potential voters refer to those who may vote in this election. The reason for this difference is that many American voters who do not like their party's candidates will choose to stay at home even if they can vote. In other words, only those who are enthusiastic about voting are likely voters. If registered voters are chosen to conduct a poll, since there are more registered Democrats than registered Republicans in most swing states, the opinion polls that investigate registered voters' attitudes toward the U.S. general election will be slightly more Democratic. Third, the response rate of the pollsters has decreased year by year. According to the Pew Research Center's report, the response rate was 36% in 1997, 28% in 2000, 15% in 2006, 9% in 2013 and 7% in 2015. However, according to media reports this year, in the 2020 poll, most of the respondents said they were uneasy about discussing politics over the phone and refused to answer. Many voters are very wary of strange calls, and many simply don't answer them. The author's experience is that for every 100 calls, less than 20 are successfully answered, and most of them are middle-aged women. This leads to another question: can these voters who answer questions on the phone represent the true situation of voters? Changes of voting methods in 2020 general election. Due to the impact of the new crown epidemic, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party have shown a completely different strategy of urging votes. Biden's team's strategy is to completely switch to online contact, using online social media and SMS platforms to urge tickets. Biden team encourages Democratic voters to vote by mail, while Trump team still insists that volunteers hand out campaign materials at home and win over voters through community meetings and campaign rallies. Trump has repeatedly expressed doubts about the legitimacy of mailing ballots, because mailing votes opens the door to campaign fraud. President Trump has called on voters to vote in person in advance, or on election day, in case their votes are altered or damaged. Such a completely different strategy led to the Democratic Party having no ground forces in the important swing states and giving up the volunteer ticket collection process. There are three ways to vote for the big vote in 2020.